Good morning. Namaste, everyone. A very warm welcome and thank you all for joining us today. It's an honor to be the moderator for today's webinar with the distinguished panelists, our industry partners, media, and officials from Embassy in New Delhi and Mumbai Consulate. Our objective for the webinar is Future of Tourism, Tourism Indonesia and Marketing in India, the new beginning and how we are getting ready for the same. Please allow me to introduce our distinguished experts on the panel today. We have our Honorable Deputy Minister for Tourism Marketing for Global Markets, for Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, our charming Ms. Nia Nischaya. Namaste, Bunia.
Namaste.
Ms. Nia Nischaya brings with her 29 years of diverse experience in tourism and marketing, and she has been associated with the Indian market since 2005 and 6, if I'm not wrong, Bunia, please correct me.
Yes.
Our second panelist is Mr. I. Gusti Nagararai Surya Chairman, Badung Tourism Promotion Board, Bali. Mr. Rai is associated with tourism and hospitality industry since 1982. And being a hotelier himself, he understands requirements under the new normal. Welcome, Parai.
Namaste, Mr. Sanjay.
And I'm Sanjay Sondi, Vito India, based in New Delhi and moderator for today's session. Both our panelists understand the Indian market and behavior and are here to share more about the new beginning and answer the questions you may have. I would therefore request you all to please send in your questions as early as possible for us to address those on first-come basis. I would now request our Director Tourism Promotion, India, South Central Asia, Middle East, Africa, and Europe, Mr. Sigit Bijaksono, for his opening remarks. Good morning, Pa Sigit, and the floor is yours, Pa Sigit.
Namaskar, Pak Sanjay.
Over to you, Pa Sigit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Sanjay. Namaskar, very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Indonesia Tourism Webinar. Today webinar with the theme Future of Indonesia Tourism Marketing in India, which is very important topic, and already explained that will be with distinguished panelists, speakers, Excellency Ibu Nia Nischaya, our Deputy Minister for Marketing, as well as Bapak Gusti Ngurah Rai Surya Wijaya, the Chairman of Badung Tourism Promotion Board in Bali. And then, of course, with the wonderful moderator, Bapak Sanjay Sondi. Today webinar is this the first webinar for India market. And I believe that is very important for both sides, for India as well as Indonesian side. And of course, the objective of this webinar is to give explanation, update on Indonesia tourism, as well as how the government and also the people coping with this pandemic situation. And this will be elaborated more by our distinguished panelists. And we thank you very much, Pak Sanjay and all Vito team, which has done several webinars in India. And this is also to keep us in India market. And you know, in this situation, in pandemic situation, tourism sector is very much affected. That is why we hold this webinar. And later, we are also planning to have B2B, business to business tabletop meeting. So will be opportunity for both sides, for industry, tour operator, travel agents, and from India and Indonesia. And of course, during this webinar, there will be more explanation about how Indonesia coping with the pandemic, as well as the preparation, implementation of clean health and safety, and more on about Bali as well. we once again we thank you very much for your attendance, our dear travel agent or operator, and as well as we believe that we have guests, distinguished guests from our Consul General in Mumbai, Bapak Agus Sabtono, as well as we have a representative from Embassy in Delhi. Thank you very much for your participation in this webinar. And we really expect that this webinar will give you update information as well as insight about how Indonesia tourism will move forward. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you. It was a lovely video played, and so keeping the current sentiments in mind, we have tried through this video to connect with our partners and consumers and to express Indonesia is concerned about the pandemic and is getting ready to open the market as soon as we can once the pandemic is under control and over for the other markets and the international travels to travel internationally. May I now request Bunia for her presentation, Bunia. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sanjay. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. I wish I could be in India at the moment, but I think this is the new normal. That's why we are meet online. On this great occasion, I would like to thank to our buyers in India and then medias, embassy, consul general, and also Vito, because before COVID, actually Indian market did very well. For the last 3 years, it grew very well. So we need foreign exchange, and we gave the business to Indian players. And thanks to sellers for sure. So everyone, let me share with you about the new normal implementation in tourism destination in Indonesia. And then I would like to give several topics on this morning. First is about COVID update in Indonesia, and then action by the government of Indonesia, mitigating the impact, cleanliness, health and safety protocol. And the last part, I'm gonna share with you the empathy and key message. Next slide, please. COVID update in Indonesia. While we are waiting for the slide, actually, we are still struggling to cope with COVID-19 at the moment. But per June 7th, 2020, the number of recovered patients keep on increasing along with the more efforts taken by the government of Indonesia. Next slide, please. Now, how about in Bali? I think everybody knows Bali is the capital of tourism in Indonesia. It must be a lot of people there. But Bali is not the epicentrum of COVID-19. Why it happens? Even Bali, I may say, is the best province in coping with COVID. Even our president give appreciation to the governor and the local people, the way they cope with the COVID-19. This is because of the role of village or desa adat, and combining with local wisdom, with total participation in all levels. I think this is the key lesson. The number of affected people by COVID-19, even Bali has not implemented large-scale social restriction. Next. What we have done since COVID occurred in Indonesia, in February, entry bans for the Chinese travelers or travelers have been recorded visiting China within 14 days must be isolated. And then in March, entry bans for foreign travelers, mandatory health declaration for 14 days, and then cancellation to all events, and also close all the tourism sites in Indonesia. And then in April, imposing large-scale social restriction on several affected regions, including Jakarta, and then Indonesians suspended all domestic and international flights. In May, the preparation for cleanliness, health and safety protocol in the destination, and then Indonesia has opened domestic flights in several routes, but this is for business and government services with the purpose, not for leisure yet. And in June, transition of social restriction revocation in Jakarta, and then revocation of social restriction in several provinces and regencies, implementation CHS, we call cleanliness, health and safety protocol in several destinations. Next, and then what has been done by the government of Bali. If you may have a look in the picture, all access to the island closed, and then they also established the task force to cope with COVID-19. And another picture is a task force ensure that the people wearing masks and then implement social or physical distancing and routinely spray disinfectant in their areas. Next slide, please. Now about the mitigating the impact. Our ministry, we also reallocate the budget to help the industry. In this case, is hotel, transportation, F&B, and then we give that benefit to the medical workers, since we know that they are in the front liner, they are our hero during this pandemic. So we want to make them can focus on work by giving the best place to take a rest. And this is also good to keep them far away from the family, so we get special place for them. Next, and we also have a program donation to the tourism worker in destination in Indonesia by giving or providing basic food. And that's next slide. This is the picture in Bali, but we also do it in other parts of Indonesia. Since our ministry also in charge for creative economy instead of tourism, we have program Beli local creative or buying creative local, especially for the small medium enterprises who is located surrounding Jakarta as the most pandemic area. And then the sector is fashion, culinary, and souvenir or craft. This is the program for the creative economy. We work together with e-commerce platforms, so we teach them, we train them how to make a good product in terms of packaging, and then we bring it up to the marketplace. Next, this is for creative economy. And then for the next slide, please, this is for project workers, because some of them unpaid leave or even they don't get any income during this pandemic. So we have program special for them by giving them training, then they got money, and also a program in terms of implementing the CHS protocol in their property, in their destination. Next. Now I think this is the picture shows you that we call Gotong Royong movement. This is the spirit of Indonesian people to overcome COVID-19. We believe that this pandemic, we just cannot put the burden on the government, but it has to be the job, or there's a responsibility of everyone in the country by having Gotong Royong movement. They donate, they donate, and then they also give help to them who lost their job or income. Next, this slide is talking about the applying CHS protocol. I think this is the most important part of my presentation. Basically, if you look at the big picture of this program, there are two things. First is gaining confidence and appealing. This is very important to build trust, to gain confidence that we apply the health protocol in destinations. Next. Gaining confidence, there are steps. First is preparing for CHS protocol. And then now at the moment, we are in the harmonization process with associations, with the players, and also other ministries, because there will be one protocol issued by Ministry of Health. But Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy produced the guidelines, more detail from the protocol issued by the Ministry of Health. So when we're preparing, we also prepare the video tutorial, which is interesting and easy to implement. And then we train the workers, and then we do simulation, we do campaign, and then applying the protocol and reopening the destination. Against with the big notes, the date, it depends on the national decision of the National Task Force COVID and also the local government. Next. For gaining confidence, the protocol will be implemented in airport. This is like every touch point of the traveler's journey. Accommodation, airport, restaurant, souvenir shops. Next. Now is about the appealing program. Appealing program, we create video to tell, to inform to the world that we are doing the same like other countries, CHS, and then we put also in the all platform of the media. Next slide. And then with the time comes where border is open, next slide please, we're gonna have mega fun trip, and we are pleased to invite buyers, media, or partner from India to come to Indonesia, because seeing is believing, to see Indonesia with the new coping or facing with the new normal. And then of course during promotion we will continue, because it helped a lot thanks to the buyers, our partner in India. For the last 3 years, the performance of Indian market did very well. And then we can have organizing a MICE meeting, especially for domestic, for sure, the government meeting, we can start it, and we'll create also event as a pull factor, but still it must be under protocol, health protocol, and the time again depends on the decision of National Task Force on COVID. Next. Now I'm gonna share with you how is the implementation of the CHS in Bali and also other regions, because I believe that Indian loves to visit Bali and also Batam Bintan, which is the gate or the way to visit that place coming via Singapore. Bali, the minister has decided for, of course, domestic will rebound first, but for international visitors, the minister proposed to open Bali first, and then Jogja and surrounding, and Batam Bintan, which is closer to Singapore. For Bali, we have a pilot project in Nusa Dua area, because this exclusive, all are there, amenities, attraction, even hospital with international standard, and the location close from the airport. And the most important thing is easy to control in that area. And so many various hotels there, and also restaurant. Bali is a project, and then this is the Bali, right? Also in Jakarta, I think next week the malls will be open, but the carrying capacity will be for the first time 50% first. Then there will be evaluated every 2 weeks. How is the rest, especially we don't want to have second wave. That's why Jakarta will open gradually also. Next, and then this one is Banyuwangi. Maybe you are not familiar with Banyuwangi. If you have a look the map of Bali, on the left side is Lombok Island, and on the right side in the corner of Java Island, there is a Banyuwangi. If you are interested in nature, there is a mountain and they have blue fire. You may have a look or search on our website www.indonesia.travel. This is Banyuwangi. Even they have booking system online, so they know exactly how many people will visit, so they can manage the visitors, so they can also calculate the visitors in every spot. Next, that's Banyuwangi. Now it's Batam Bintan, which is closer from Singapore. Especially for Bintan, they implement exactly the same what have been doing in Singapore. So this is, I think you can reach Bintan 1 hour by ferry from Singapore. It's Bintan and Belitung. Belitung is in Sumatra. This is also, they're ready to welcome the visitors. Even they have bracelets for visitors, and then they also program apps, Play Store, to track the tourists. Next slide, please. Even you don't have to check in at the hotel. You can check in at the airport. So when you come to the hotel, you just collect the key. That is in Belitung. If you see in our website, there is a beach with a big stone that is Belitung. I think that is that I have shared with you what we are doing in terms of implementing CHS program in destination. This is my last part of presentation. I would like to express our empathy and key message. We miss you, but we are improving and ensuring the best for you. We are optimistic that we can welcome you back soon with interesting and experiences to be offered. Stay at home and come visit the most hospitable people in the world tomorrow. Stay at home, explore paradise tomorrow. Thoughtful Indonesia waits for you. So much wonderful to explore. A much better future awaits. Next. So we can't wait to see you soon in the next webinar. Then we're gonna have B2B webinar next. Thank you so much, and Sukriya, and have a good day. Thank you, Pak Sanjay. Over to you.
Thank you, Bunia. What a lovely presentation. And as you mentioned, Bunia, that you are connecting with the community, trying to help the community. And that's what we are trying to do in India, because they need us the most. We have to look after our people who will be ready to welcome the tourists when we are ready to come to Indonesia. Thank you so much. And so much of information. I think Indonesia is at par with the global norms. We are getting ready as per WHO norms. And we do hope to be ready soon as the world is ready to travel. We are waiting for you to welcome you to our wonderful destination. Thank you, Bunia, once again. May I now request Pa Nagura Rai to present to the audience and tell us more about the focus destination today, favorite and most popular destination for the Indians, Bali, the land of gods. Over to you, Pa Rai.
Good. Well, thank you, Pak Sanjay. Before I do my presentation, I would like to greet everyone. Very good afternoon. And Her Excellency Ibu Nia Niscaya, Deputy Minister for Marketing and Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of Republik Indonesia. Excellency Consulate General of Republik Indonesia in Mumbai, Bapak Agus Priyadin Sabtono, the Honorable Director of Marketing, Bapak Sigit Wicaksono. Namaste, Mr. Sanjay, and all our business partner in India. I hope everyone in good health. My name is Rai Suryawijaya, the chairman of the Badung Tourism Promotion Board in Bali. It is my pleasure and feel great honor to have the opportunity to joining this webinar and to share some information regarding the current situation in Bali. As you most probably aware about Bali, and Bali is one from the 17,000 island in Indonesia archipelago. So Bali with 4.3 million populations. According to my data, we have more than 146,000 hotel rooms in Bali. So 17% located at the Badung Regency, which is on the south of Bali. But unfortunately, now it's totally empty. 96% close operational of our already almost 3 months. It is infected 1.3 million unemployed and stay at home because of the COVID-19 outbreak. We are grateful with advocating from the government and central government as well, Bali Province and Bali Regency and governments and all stakeholders in Bali. We really hope the tourism industry will slowly start to move on again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share some information. Last year, 2019, the tourist arrival in Bali is 6.3 million in total, international tourists. So this is the top 3 biggest market share in Bali in year 2019. Number 1 is from Australia, 1.2 million coming from Australia, which is contribute 27.7%. So why from Australia? Because it's really, Bali and Australia is very, very close. Such as from Perth is 3.5 hours by flights, and the other cities around 5 to 6 hours. So that's why Australian market is the biggest market for Bali. It is always number 1, but contribution large. So from Australia, it's like a second home. Bali is a second home. And number 2 is from China, 196,000, which is contribute 26.9%. This is quite a lot also. Might be next year could be increasing. Well, and number 3 is from Indian markets. So we are expecting around 500 Indian tourists coming to Bali last year. But we achieved around 377,000, which is 8.5%. I think it's Indian market is the second biggest market contributors in the world. So I would like to maintain good relations between India and Bali, because next slide. Next. Yeah, why Bali? Why Bali? Excuse me. Why Bali? Please. Yes. Why Bali? Number one is common story, because we have Bali and India, like story of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and also the culture. Number 2, Bali is so beautiful and very attractive. We have a nice, beautiful nature, nice beach, and culinary, and culture, and also adventures. So Bali is really very attractive, it's very complete, you know. And number 3, about the quality destination. you know, this is Bali is the reasonable price. I think good value for money compared to other country in the world. So Bali is really good value for money and the best quality destination, wood class destination, and reasonable price. That is the reason why Bali. Next. Yeah, coronavirus disease outbreak, the situation in the world. So, you know, in February, we thought it's only in Wuhan, but the very massive, the situation in the world is more than 216 countries impacted, including Bali. Next. Yeah, this is Indonesia, already explained by Ibu Nia. And next, Bali. Bali is, this week is increasing the positive case, but compared to recover case, this is almost 400 right, by today, and that only 5%. So the recover case is almost 70% compared to the positive case or new case. Next. And Bali got the appreciation from the central government, from the President of Republic Indonesia, Mr. Joko Widodo. Bali hoped to be the first province clear of COVID-19 in Indonesia. Next. And many of the foreigners, they are curious about Bali. Bali is mysterious immunity to COVID-19 because because the culture, environments most probably, and then the supernatural. And Bali always has a daily offering to all the nature and everything. So that's why Bali is the mysterious island. Next. The risk of transmissions. This is what are the risks of the COVID-19 transmission. When you are affected by the hosted or contaminated droplets, secretions projected during the sneezing or coughing, in case of close contact, some place of life, direct contact with matters in the absence of the protect measure. Remember that you can also carry and transmit the virus. When you wear your hand or contaminated object on your face, a significant risk of the transmission in the contact with the unwashed hand on contaminated surface object, box, handles, etc. The virus can survive for a few hours. When you are eat, drink, smoke, or vape, if your hand are dirty, or if you are share the food, bottles, or glasses with other, there is a significant risk when your hand come into the contact with your mouth. Next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as already mentioned earlier by Ibu Nia, Bali also has a protocols COVID-19. The same object as the guideline from the Ministry of Tourism, Republic Indonesia, such as cleanliness, health, and safety. So we will seek to change hotel norms in Bali, behavior and standard to ensure both hotel guests and employee are confident in the cleanliness, health, and safety of hotel. So hotel cleanliness practice they do now in this situation. Social interactions, workplace protocol as well. Next. Background, impacted people, impacted property, value system. Next. So the subject, number one, is guest responsibility, and two, employee responsibility, and three, third-party associate, such as vendors, suppliers, tenants, contractors. And what the object? Cleaning protocol by disinfectants, goals, standard of cleaning. And process, we do also the number one is crowd management, number two, queue management, and three, sitting management, and number four, interaction management. Next. This is guest responsibility. Always, when they arrive in the hotel, wash hand, thermal scanner, checked by the security, and the record, and sanitizers, wear masks, and encourage a health or deduration form. And employees responsible for the work was in thermal scanners and check on the record, and sanitizer, wear mask, use and include optionals. And the third party associates, such as vendors, suppliers, tenants, contractors, they also do the same thing like wash hand, thermal scanner, they do check and record, and sanitizers, wear masks, use and include as well. Next. Yeah, the object, cleanliness protocol disinfectants. So the hotel car as well, before they use public space and communal area, lobby, pool, lift, corridor, pathway, library, lounge, etc. Guest room, restaurants, meeting and convention room, space, kitchens, laundry, back of the house, room emergency protocol as well. The tool, they use the disinfectant liquid and disinfectant spray. Number three, standard of cleaning. Cleaning all the hard surface, floor, desk, countertop, table, with the standard of disinfectant, bleach solutions, all mixtures containing at least 70% alcohol. Next. So this is the process of control. By management, always physical distancing, which is crowd management, queue management, sitting management, and interaction management. Next. Yeah, I really hope by these webinars, we got some more information or inquiry might be from our clients or input in order to make the better preparation for the reopening in Bali. Because actually we plan to reopening our hotel, mall, and also the tourism object or destinations by early in July. I really thank you very much for your everyone's support, and thank you, of course, to the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy to give us chance to share some information. Thank you. Shukriya.
Thank you, Parai, for such an informative presentation. What we have understood from your presentation is the Bali is working hard on the SOPs, on getting the industry, the hotels, the public places, and the transportation ready for the tourists. And one good thing which we have noted here is this pandemic, this crisis, all about how the community behaves. Community behavior, community discipline. So the discipline which has been shown by the people in Bali has been exemplary, and that's how you have had very few cases, and that's how you've been able to control the pandemic in such a great manner. So I think that's an example to the rest of the world that how the societies of discipline can control any crisis which emerges from maybe a catastrophe, natural catastrophe, or something like this, like a fire. So, thank you, Parai, once again. And
You're welcome.
And I think after the presentation, all our attendees would be tempted to travel to wonderful Indonesia and Bali to explore more. I think people have been confined to their homes and their places. And we do pray and do hope that we are able to start travel soon again and explore a beautiful destination. So to all the attendees, now we have a poll where we have questions with options, and I shall read the same to you and request you to all please tick your options. You would get about 10 seconds for the same, and here we go. Our first question is, subject to the lifting of travel restrictions, when do you envisage your customers traveling internationally again? Your options are July to September, October to December, this is for 2020, and then the first quarter 2021, that's Jan to March, and then the second quarter onwards, that's April 2021 onwards. The second is, which destinations of Indonesia that you will firstly offer to your customers? Bali, Yogyakarta, Lombok, Sumatra, Sulawesi, Bintan, Batam Islands. The third question is, which one of the following is the most important factor for India visitors to consider before visiting a destination? Is it discount, health, safety and hygiene? Is it limiting visitor numbers at tourism sites and resorts, on the value add? So please do put in your suggestions, your options, and we'll show you the results soon. Wow, we have your answers here. For the first question which we asked, subject to the lifting of the travel restrictions, most of you have said is October to December 2020. I think that's where the expectations are also there. The last quarter of 2020, we are looking to travel to come back, and that's 49%. 25% say July to September. Yes, that's very encouraging for us. January to March 2021, 17% people are saying yes, that's again relaxing of the restrictions and normal routines come back, and 8% say April 2021 onwards. Now, which destination that you will firstly offer to your clients? Overwhelming. Parai, it's 92% say Bali. So,
oh, thank you.
That's
thank you very much. Bali is the best.
Interest in Lombok Islands and Batam Islands, and obvious reasons Sumatra and not so popular for Indians at the moment. And which of the following is the most important factor for Indian visitors to consider before visiting a destination? Again, as expected, health and safety hygiene. I think that's where we will score a bunia once we have the SOPs in place and get the customer confidence back with our efforts in controlling and providing the best services. And value adds 10%, that probably we'll discuss it later, maybe in our next webinar, what are the special offers that the ministry is trying to get to lure our Indians back to the destinations. Thank you everybody for your poll. And now we have our most awaited period where we open the floor for question and answers. We already have some questions from our attendees, and I would like to put them forward. Yes, Bunia, would you like to say something?
No, I'm fine. I'm waiting for the question.
Yes, Bunia, we have some questions. We have some questions from JTB from India. JTB would like to know the details on airlines that plan to operate from multiple hubs in India. Which are the airlines would you expect would start first from India? That is number one. Two is visa feasibility. Do the pre-COVID things prevail, or do you expect there could be some changes in the new norms of travel to Indonesia? Third, they're asking, is tourism board subsidy for Indian travelers? Would the government consider any sort of SOPs or any sort of subsidy for them? Safety guidelines, if any, to be taken by Indonesian government hotel partners. I think we've explained that to a great extent. And also new policies launched by the ministry. Over to you, Bunia.
Yes, thank you, Pak Sanjay. Thank you to JTP for question. Okay, what airline actually for us, any kind airline, as long as they can bring in, we are very pleased, right? Because I think airlines like Indonesia, I believe they also have SOP like Garuda. They with the procedure before we travel with the health declaration, the PCR test. But for international, we are still discussing because the situation is very dynamic. But now we are for sure, I think domestic tourists will recover first. But even domestic, they will like staging also, staycation and then intercity road trip and then flying. But my experience when I was going to fly to Bali, I have to do like a rapid test. And then, yeah. And then but now in Bali, we have to start from the end of last month, has to have like PCR. Yes, Pak Ray.
Yes,
so when I
right.
flew, when I'm going to fly back to Jakarta from Bali,
I think there's some connection issues.
Connection, Ibunia connection.
Yes, Part. Parai, till Bunia joins us back again, there are some questions mentioning when do you expect Bali to be open? When do you feel Bali would be open for international travelers? A lot of people are keen to know that.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Actually, we are from the Tourism Association expecting to reopening our hotel in July. But we are still discussing with the government. We would like to have meeting by this week because of the government bit worry about the second wave. Because this week is slightly increasing the number of the positive COVID-19. So that's why our government very taking very serious action indeed, because industry already 3 months no operational hotel. We also suggest some bill out to returning for the working capital as well. Yeah, it's quite difficult situation. Actually, very difficult situation India did. And government also want to take care about the COVID-19 first to see the group of the decreasing the number of transmission local is the most important.
Rai, another question for you. Ms. Alka Kaushik is asking that we do understand Indonesia is preparing and Bali is preparing to have a safe experience. But as a traveler, they would like to know the amount of checking, the health measures and other things. Would it do you think would it be like harassing the customer or the guest, or would it be very seamless without affecting the normal movement and routine of the holidays who are in Indonesia, in Bali particular?
Pak Sanjay, as mentioned by Ibu Nia as well, when the travelers coming to Bali, the international flight, they will check airline as a SOP very tight, and also at the airport. And then we are also from association as a regulation. But the government by now they must have the, the every single tourist come to Bali, they have to show the PCR, the result of PCR. That's the most important for the time being. But for domestic, rapid test is enough for the domestic. So that is the problem right now. We still facing this problem.
Right. Okay. Bunia, we have a question from Mr. Harmandeep. Mr. Harmandeep wants to know, when are you expecting to operate the Mega Fam? Would it be country specific, or it will be for the global market?
Okay. Once the border is open, we are ready because I have secured the budget. I think it depends on the border open. Which country is going to open first, then we will do it. I think I will propose India is very important market for us. So I will put India on the list. Pak Sanjay, I think I would answer the question from JTB about the subsidiary for the traveler, Indian traveler, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we have a program like last year. We'll continue with joint promotion with the industry partners in India, and we call joint promotion. We will invest together. I had a joke last time. Okay, I will invest 25%, and my partner in India is 75%. I'm just joking. No, we're gonna invest together, right? That's a scheme we will continue.
Right.
And then we also have, we call program airlines for airlines or wholesaler who have a block seat on regular flight. So the incentive first for the wholesaler, OTA or conventional, and also for airlines. So once the border open, even for the joint promotion with partner, we are working on it at the moment. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Bunia, so much. And most of the people are also asking, would the visa on arrival be same as pre-COVID, or do you expect any changes on that?
Since it relates to other ministry, I have to check it. Once I get the answer, I'll let you know.
Thank you, Bunia. I think,
transportation.
Yeah. So we are waiting.
Basically, Pak Sanjay, we are really preparing to make a better destination, cleaner, healthier, and safer for our travelers and also the destinations.
I'm sure, Bunia, there's a lot of hard work. I see you traveling around within Indonesia, and I know it's been 24/7 for everybody at your level, working very hard to keep the destination ready. And we are waiting for a lot of good news in times to come. And our webinar could have been on a better day, Bunia, because India today is also opening up. On 8th of June today, we are opening up hotels, we are opening up restaurants. So the lockdown is easing slowly and gradually. So I think more updates from India also, how the behavior, how the pandemic progresses or is controlled in the next 1 month or so. But yes, we are also opening up our economy from today.
So we can learn from India then, because we have this, we have the same, quite same about population, right? And people, I think, get bored at home. Once open, then
almost 3 months. Really very bored.
Yeah, I think it's been commendable how the society, how the community has behaved. They have really been very well under control. People have not tried to break the rules and go out, and have been listening to what the government directives have been. And I see the same happening in Indonesia and Bali.
Sure, it's important.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for any more questions to our attendees today. We're waiting to answer. Your international border has been answered. We have answered about visas. We've answered about the health SOPs. Bunia's presentation and Parai's presentation has done that extensively. More questions to our attendees? Is there anything more would you like to know? We have Mr. Rajan Sehgal mentioning that we want to promote new areas in Indonesia for high-end and niche tourism. So Bunia, from your presentation, they feel interest in the new things. They mentioned that we motivate concerned travel operators, but response from your side, even after meeting and discussing, is slow. So probably it's because of the pandemic and suddenly the things changed. And so they want really for us to be more proactive to get into new destinations, the tourism industry, the travelers, the travel partners to experience the new destinations. So Punia, would you like to share more that how would you like to showcase the new destinations what we've been talking about?
Sure. Okay. The president has now we are working to improve the infrastructure, especially at top 5 super priority destination. First is Toba Lake, is in northern part of Sumatra, next to Medan. If you Toba Lake is the biggest lake as a result of super eruption of the mountain hundreds years ago. In the middle of the lake, there is an island, and then the culture is very Bataknis, which is different from Bali. So it's very unique, Toba Lake, we call. And then the second one is Borobudur with surrounding. That's the new super priority destination. And then Mandalika, which is in Lombok, that will be the host of MotoGP. That destination, you know, the beach, especially the sand, is very white and very big. It's like a pepper, and then it will not stick on your feet if you walk on that sands. That is Mandalika. And then Labuan Bajo. Labuan Bajo is 1 hour flying time from Bali. I know maybe about Komodo, but it's not only Komodo there, Komodo dragon, but there's a pink beach, you know, and the marine activities is also interesting there. And then North Sulawesi, we call Likupang. It's also a marine-based area. Yeah. So top 5 super priority destination, we are working on it, and the president asked to finish it all the infrastructure by the end of this year. So we are ready to welcoming you to that top 5 super priority destination.
Super priority. Wow.
An interesting question here we have is, when are we allowing destination weddings in Indonesia? Would there be any restrictions on the weddings from India, the big fat Indian weddings, Punia?
Oh, yeah, we are working on SOP, about wedding and everything. Since it involves the crowd, there will be not restriction, but there is regulation on it. I will share with you, Pak, when the protocol is ready.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I know Indian loves to have wedding, Pak, in Bali.
yeah.
Yeah.
Punia, more so because in India at the moment the restriction for a wedding is only 50 packs. You can't have more than 50 guests. So
Wow.
people would. This is an opportunity for Indonesia to invite people to come.
Pak Ray, this is our homework. We have to finish it, Pak.
Yeah. I will suggest to our governors at least 100 packs. Yeah. It's not
200.
only 50 packs.
So we have, Punia, another question from Mr. Jatin Sharma. Mr. Sharma is asking, would there be any improvement in flight connectivity? Like Punia, April 11th or second week of April, Garuda was already ready to take off, direct flight from Delhi and Mumbai. So any update on that, Punia?
Okay, Pak. Garuda has a new BOD, and then we had a meeting, and we are in the same thought that the business has to be inbound orientation, not outbound orientation. So hopefully, Pak, there will be change, because from the inside, the international visitors will open mostly from the distance is short haul and medium. I hope India will be on the list. Let me check again with the new BOD.
Oh, great, Punia.
Because they have a new orientation. Yes.
Okay, so we wait to hear from your office, Punia, because it'll help us greatly to have a direct flight into Indonesia, because now people would prefer a direct connectivity to our destination in such conditions.
And TG also, yeah, Pak. Usually Indian fly to Indonesia via TG, but TG also, that's the condition. Yeah, Pak, thank you. I'll let them know.
So I think we are coming to an end of our 1 hour session, Punia. And thank you so much, Punia, Parai. Thank you for your time. And a special thanks to officials from the embassy in New Delhi and the consulate in Mumbai. thank you all for attending and for your valuable time today. This session was also attended by our veto colleagues, Shelly, who's based in Mumbai. I and Gurenu, who are based in Delhi, we are always there. So my request to all the attendees is please feel free to contact us for any details you may have or you may require, and we shall keep you updated on the latest from wonderful Indonesia. So we thank our panelists once again, and we thank all our attendees once again, and hope to see you soon and engage with you soon with more information on similar platform before we open to the international guests. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Shukriya. Thank you all,
Shukriya,
Situs, Pak
shukriya.
Sanjay.
Our dear beloved Indonesia, it's time to stop and take a break, to distance ourselves for a while and hope for a better future. We are longing to hear the sounds of the waves and to see the beauty that awaits around every corner of this land. Our beautiful motherland, the time will come when the sky will again shine bright and we'll come back stronger.